Welcome in. Before we begin, I just want to put a disclaimer. So this session is for education and self-reflected purpose only. It's not a substitute for medical psychological treatment. While I'm an advanced level 3 IFS practitioner with extensive experience in trauma-informed care, I'm not a licensed psychotherapist, so please consult a licensed mental health professional for diagnosis, treatment, or therapeutic support if needed. So let's begin by arriving here together and yet fully within yourself. Find a comfortable position that feels supported and let your body settle, your shoulders soften, and if it feels right, gently close your eyes or lower your gaze. And take a slow breath in and a long breath out. Another breath in slowly and a long breath out. And let that exhale tell your body you're safe here. Now turn your attention inwards. Notice what is present. Sensation, emotion, maybe even a quiet hum beneath the surface. There's nothing to change or fix, just notice. And as you breathe, imagine your body as a landscape that holds many stories, some your own, and some perhaps carried from those who came before you. And you don't need to name them. Just sense what stirs up as you hold that thought. And if it feels right, place a hand on your heart or your belly and say inwardly, I'm here, I'm ready to know what is mine and release what is not. And let that breath move gently, softly, what's heavy. Each exhale creates space for your own life, your own rhythm, your own truth. And as you rest here, let that awareness stay close to you as we begin to explore what your body and heart are ready to release today. So it's wonderful to be here with you again. This is our 144th session together. And our theme today is carrying family pain, breaking the cycle. So today we are going to take a powerful turn inwards to explore what many of you carry without realizing, family pain that's not fully yours. Emotional burdens that may have taken or passed down through silence, through patterns, or through generations of unspoken survival. What we will do today is that we will be moving inwards together to connect with parts of you that still hold those legacy burdens, those stories, and learn how to connect to ancestors to help yourself and them to release the pain that has been there. You don't need to know any specific process. I'll guide you through a step-by-step. And we will follow it with, if time permits, a gentle sound healing and open a space for reflections and questions. So just let's take a slow, deep breath. Let yourself fully arrive here. Nothing to fix, nothing to force, just your presence. So we will begin by understanding what does it mean to carry family pain. Let's begin with something simple but often overlooked. Sometimes the pain we carry didn't start with us. Carrying family pain means that we may be holding to emotions, beliefs, or behaviors that were passed down, like an invisible inheritance from our parents, from grandparents, or even further back. And most of it is unconscious. We absorb it, though, what was said. We do it through process of what was said and often what wasn't said at the time. Through glances, rules, roles, emotional silences, we have learned not to question. Let me give you a few ways that this can show up for you. It could be unlived emotion that become yours. So imagine a mother who lost a father young, never processed the grief. She never cried. She never spoke about it. And then her daughter grows up feeling a vague sadness she can't explain, a tendency to carry other people's pain. That daughter or a son might be you. You might find yourself deeply empathetic yet overwhelmed. This is what happens when one generation unspoken emotion quietly becomes the emotional starting point for the next one. Legacy beliefs that still shape you. Maybe you were raised by a parent, one of them or both of them, father and mother, who survived hardships by staying small, polite, and always putting others first. Over time, that becomes the family rule. Don't take up space. Don't speak out loud. Don't need too much. And so even now, as an adult, you might feel guilty for wanting more. You might silence yourself in a meeting, or in a marriage, or in a relationship, in a parenthood. Not because it's true, but because it's inherited. And those beliefs aren't personal flaws, they are survival codes from the past. And there are inherited coping styles and family roles. In some families, children grow up with a parent who is emotionally absent or unpredictable. And without anyone saying a word, that child learns to walk on eggshells, or to become the fixer, or a good girl or a good boy who never asks for help. If that's familiar, you're not alone. Those roles aren't who you are. They are who you became to survive someone else's pain. Your body remembers even if you don't. And sometimes you feel something in your body, a clenching, a fatigue, a sudden anxiety, and you don't know where it came from. Science now tells us that trauma can be passed biologically, not just emotionally. The body literally holds what the mind can't. So if you have ever thought, this reaction feels bigger than me, you may be right. It may not have started with you, but it's showing up through you. Now, I'm not sharing this to blame anything. In fact, this is about love, because your ancestors did the best they could with the tools they had, and now you have different tools. You have awareness, and that awareness begins to break the cycle. So as we move forward, I invite you to gently wonder, what am I carrying that might not be mine? And what might be possible if I didn't have to keep carrying it any longer? Let's explore that together. Now, signs that you may carry ancestral trauma. Let's begin by turning inwards now, because one of the most powerful things we can do is simply recognize when we are carrying something that didn't begin with us. Here are a few signs you may be living with that tells you you're living with an ancestral pain even without realizing it. You're always living on the edge without obvious causes. You wake up with tension in your chest. You walk into rooms already bracing. Maybe you plan, overplan, triple check everything because something in you believes if I don't stay ahead, something bad will happen. And yet nothing truly bad has happened. This constant sense of alertness isn't just personality. It may be a nervous system shaped by lineage, by men and women who had to be hypervigilant to survive from loss, from control, or from scarcity. And now your body carries their caution even in safety. You are the strong one, always have been. Maybe you are the one everyone relies on, the one who keeps it all together. No matter what, you know deep down that there is fatigue, a grief that has been waiting for decades. This may be a legacy of a woman or a man who had no choice but to push through, who couldn't afford to break down, so they passed down the rule: strength is survival, softness is unsafe. And now, even when you want to rest, you can't. Even when you want to ask for help, your throat tightens. That's not weakness, that's an inherited resilience without rest. You over-accommodate and then quietly resent. You say yes when you mean to say no. You absorb tension in a room and then wonder why you feel so drained. You shape-shift to keep the peace and feel invisible afterwards. This pattern often begins in families where emotions were dangerous or where love had to be earned. So now your nervous system believes, if I'm not useful, I'm not safe. You may have learned to disappear just enough to be acceptable. And here's the truth: you were never meant to shrink into safety. You are repeating patterns you promised to end. Maybe you swore, I will never be like my mother or like my father. And yet, in stress, conflict, his or her voice comes through your mouth. Maybe you promise your children you'll parent them differently, but in moments of overwhelm, old script takes over. That doesn't make you broken. It means that there is an inner part still carrying what your mother or father never got to heal. Your reactions feel bigger than the situation. Sometimes, if someone cancels a plan, you feel abandoned. You lose your keys and you spiral into shame or panic. A simple disagreement leaves you frozen, as if your whole sense of self is under threat. These aren't overreactions, these are echoes. There are places where your story collided with someone else's unfinished plane, and they deserve care, not judgment. And you're not imagining this, you're not oversensitive, you're simply the one who is willing to feel what others suppressed. And in doing so, you're already breaking the cycle. Let that settle for a moment. Let it be okay if something here touched you. We'll continue from this place with curiosity and care. Now, breaking the cycle, hope through unburdening of the legacy. Now, just take a breath here together. Because if you're still here listening, feeling, it means you are doing something generation before you may not have had the safety or support to do. You're breaking the cycle. And that begins by recognizing a powerful truth. This burden didn't begin with you, but it can end with you. You don't have to continue to keep this legacy going. When we talk about unburdened legacy pain, we are not talking about forgetting the past or blaming it. We are talking about letting go of what was never yours to carry in the first place. Let me offer you some real life moments this can look like. For example, a person who always says yes. You grew up as a mother or a father. You grew up with a mother or a father who gave everything to others, nothing to themselves. And now, at the age of, let's say, 50, you realize that you haven't asked for yourself what you truly want in over a decade. Your unburdening begins the day you are able to pause before saying yes and checked what you felt first. That was the moment the cycle starts to break. If you're a person who feared softness, you learned strength meant silence, that emotions were weakness. Because the person who before you survived war, betrayal, abandonment, and didn't have the luxury to fall apart. And now you may find yourself holding back tears even in safe company. Your unburdening begins when you cry, and don't apologize for it. The person who heard your own father or mother voice in parenting. So in a moment of frustration, you snap at your teenage son or daughter and immediately hear a voice you once feared as a child of your father or mother. Instead of shame or disgust, you may choose curiosity. You turn inward and say, that part of me is still trying to protect me from something. And you meet it with kindness. That was you unburdening compassion instead of condemnation. Unburdening legacy doesn't mean erasing your family. It simply means honoring them differently, keeping the strength, the gifts, but releasing the suffering and the pain. And it's not a one-time act, it's a gentle, lifelong turning towards what has been hidden. And it often begins with one question, not to figure out anything but to open the door. So I invite you to ask that question to yourself. Now, quietly and honestly, what are the burdens that I have carried that may not have started with me? It could be a feeling, a belief, a coping mechanism. Just notice what arises. Let it surface without pressure. That may be part of you ready finally to set something down. Write down as many burdens as they show up, and then ask your system to choose one that we are going to work today. And we'll begin from there. You may have multiple burdens Ask your system to choose one for the session today. Take a breath in through your nose and a longer breath out through your mouth. And let every exhale soften your shoulders, your belly, your jaw. And allow your body to know it is safe to be here. Take a couple of few more breaths in and out, grounding you in this moment. Now gently invite to mind a place, image, or a person or a memory that brings you a sense of warmth and safety. It can be real, it can be imagined. A place, an image, a memory, or a person that brings you warmth and safety. Imagine yourself to be there now. This is your safe anchor. You can return to it any point in this journey. It becomes tender or overwhelming. Now bring it to your mind the one burden you sensed earlier, a weight or an emotion you suspect that may not have started with you. It could be a belief, a fear, or survival strategy, something inherited, absorbed, or passed down through unspoken family stories. So as you invite it in, just gently notice, where do you feel it in your body? What sensation arises as you stay with it? Does it make you feel? What emotion comes up? Now with kindness and curiosity, welcome the part of you that has been carrying this burden, that you feel it in your body now. It may appear as an image, a younger version of you, or just simply that feeling sensation in your body. So say to it inward, I see you. I know you have been carrying this for a long time. And let it know, kindly, gently, it doesn't have to do it alone now. And notice how it feels, that sensation that you felt in your body. Now become curious so that you can understand better. And from a place of curiosity, ask a question to the sensation that you felt in your body. I'm curious to know, what are you afraid would happen if you stop carrying this burden? What are you afraid would happen if you stopped carrying this burden? do you want me to know about why you hold on to it till now? Notice what you hear. What are you afraid would happen if you stopped carrying this burden? Don't judge it, just listen to it with curiosity. What do you want me to know about why you have held it for so long? And ask it, how long have you been carrying this burden? And whose energy is this really? Stay open. Let the answers arise from within. And gently ask, was this energy absorbed from someone else? A parent, a grandparent, or even further back? And is this mine? Or was I given to hold this by someone who didn't know how to release it? And notice, where did it come from? Mother, father, grandparent, generation before. Mother side, father side, both. Now take a moment, so in case it came from the father, it came from the mother or grandfather, whoever it came from, take a moment, and if it feels ready, to ask to the higher self of your father or mother or grandparent, would they like to let it go now? Would they like to release this burden now? You're asking to the higher self of wherever it came from. And if there is resistance, that's okay. Reassure the father, the mother, grandparent that you are not letting go of people, you're letting go of their pain, the love, the strength. Those will stay. The gifts will always be there. And yes, in case father or mother is alive, you can ask to their higher self, absolutely. And if resistance is there, just let them know that all their gifts, all the strengths will stay. You're only talking about releasing the pain. And ask to yourself inwards, are you ready to release this burden too? Again, if there's resistance, know that all the gifts will be kept. Now visualize your future generations, if you have kids, known, unknown, standing right in front of you. And the person from where it came from, the person where this burden came from, standing just behind you. And then imagine all your generation past, known, unknown, behind them till horizon. So the future generation in front of you, starting from the person you took the burden from, behind you, and all the generations past, known, unknown, behind them. Each one carrying a version of this burden. Now think about the healing energy. Can be water, can be fire, can be light, earth, air. Choose one. If it's water, imagine a river flowing. If it's fire, imagine fire burning. If it's earth, Mother Earth, light, sun, moon, any angelic light or air. And whatever you choose, put this healing energy right behind the ancestors on the horizon. So if it's fire, burn the fire there. If it's air, put the air there. Light, just behind the ancestors. I'm going to explain your process and then you're going to do it. Now what you're going to do is to ask your future generation, known and unknown, to take this burden out of them and bring it to you. And you take out of your body where you felt it, add to the one of your children, known and unknown, and send it to the person behind you where you took it from, and ask them to add theirs to it and send it to the generations behind, known, unknown, each one of them asking them to release, add their burden, and have it flowing backwards through the line of ancestors till all of it merges into the healing energy that you put on the horizon, a source of healing, transformation, and rest. So now go ahead, from the future onto you, add yours to the person you took it from behind you, and ask them all to add and send it into the healing energy so it transforms for highest good. Go ahead, take the time. as it releases, feel this space it leaves behind. And into this space, invite something new. Look for what qualities you would have lost while carrying those burdens. All the qualities you would have lost while carrying those burdens. List them in your head. And now let those qualities, each of them, fill you now, cell by cell. And now see yourself passing these qualities to your future generation, known and unknown. And then pass these qualities to the person just behind you. Ask them to take them on. And ask the person behind you to pass it to all the generation through line till horizon. There's abundance of these qualities. So you brought them into every cell of your body, you pass them to your future generation, known and unknown, and then you ask them to be passed to your ancestors. And see if you can now connect to that part that came up. And notice how it feels now. And let it know that you'll come back if it needs more time with you. And just start to take a moment to come back. And see if you would like to take the notes as we prepare for the tuning forks. Okay, so if you haven't been here before, just for you to know, what we'll do, we have about 12 minutes, we'll do tuning fork. So if you've not been here, just to give you an idea. So what we do with tuning forks is work on our energy centers, chakras. And how do we do? We use tuning forks to activate the central channel, which is the whole from top to bottom. We start by going at bottom of the feet and top of the head, and then run a pendulum to know which chakra to work on today, which center to work on today, based on everything that has been going on with you. And whichever center works, let's imagine it's heart, so we'll go on the right side or left side of the heart, into this torus. Okay, and at the edge of the torus is the time of your inception, when you were conceived in your mother's womb, and then at the middle is the present moment. So we'll start from that time, come in, and whatever we find in between, I will tell you what comes up and whatever makes sense. So what you have to do in the process is breathe. So there's a specific breathing for this. The breathing is you take a breath in and then you breathe out from your mouth. You breathe full out. That's one breath. I will tell you when to breathe. Don't overbreathe, otherwise you will hyperventilate. And the second one is sometime when it's very heavy, what comes up, age comes up, and there's a heavy emotion there. So what you can do is to do something like that helps to release. So I'll always use tuning fork, but this will help you to do it. Maybe we'll go 5 minutes over. Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, so you'll not see me in my video, but we straight away go into the tuning fork. Okay, we start by below the feet, top of the head, pendulum to know which chakra to work, and then from one side of whatever center comes up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start below the feet. I'm using 144 hertz. And the idea is to open the center below the feet so that it also connects you to Mother Earth. Okay, so take a moment, take a breath. I'm now passing sound through your backbone, through the feet, to the top of the head. Okay, I'm going to ground you now. Let's connect to Mother Earth. Okay, we go to the top of the head and open the connection to Divine. Now I'm pointing to your head, so that I open the channel from top of the head through the feet into Mother Earth. Okay, take a breath. You will not hear anything because I'm running a pendulum now. We start with the root, the second center. Okay, this is what wants to work today. The right side. Okay, so today it's coming up to work on the second center, what is called sacral. So what is second center connected to? Frustration and disappointments. And there may be guilt and shame. Okay, so we'll see what comes up. So I'm going to, so it's on the right side. So I'll go 6 feet on the right of your second center, just below your navel. And we are going to go inside. And every time I've come up to a certain age or certain time, I'll I'll tell you what shows up for me. Normally some kind of emotion or some message comes up. I'm also going to change the tuning fork to use 174 Hertz. So on the left side of your sacral and at the edge, okay, so there's a lot of noise at the time of conception. Actually, it's going to the second center. So the message is, wow, you took on disappointment and frustrations from one of the parent or both, someone, and you just took it at the time of conception. Yeah. And so whatever is there, if something is showing up for you, including guilt or shame, you have to know that this is not yours. So I'm just going to run another tuning fork to release it. So take a breath. So whatever is showing up for you, release it out. Okay, so that feels lighter. About a month before you were born. It could be 2 months, but just this period. And there's a lot of, it's an incredible amount of fear that's coming up in the belly. And it's literally like a pain in the belly, extreme pain. Take a breath and notice if this is actually not your pain. So just see if you can make that that distinction to the little ones, 7, 8 months in the mother's womb. Let her or him know that this is not ours, this is not mine. I just took it on. Take a breath. Okay, it's still very strong. I'm going to take another tuning fork. Release it. Take a breath. And see if you can tell to the little one, this is not yours. Let's calm down. Actually, it just brought me straight into what we call the river of ancestors river, so mother side ancestors, and it's showing me that there is the pain that was there at the time of your mother growing up, little when she was young. So that's the pain that is showing up. A lot of, as if there was no support, very alone to deal with everything that went through, that she went through. So because we are dealing on the mother side. So see if you can send love to your mother. Just pure love, knowing what she went through as a child. Okay. Okay, so this may be heavy for you, so this is asking me to use a different tuning fork. And he's also saying to me, because it just brought up pain, that I need to check on the father side of the pain of the father that took it. So I'm actually now on your right side, next to your body now. And this is the pain of your father as a little boy, what he was carrying. Which is in your field. So see if you can send unconditional love to him, knowing what he went through as a young boy. And send love to your mother's side. So the young version of your mom, the young version of your father, both of them. So now I'm on top of your second center, just below the navel, and we'll release everything that we got up today. Okay, so I'm going to start to close. So we'll seal up everything so the process continues to work for next 48, 72 hours to release whatever you release further. And just surround you in a cocoon of 528 hertz. Just feel your breath now. soft, steady, effortless. And notice what's present inside of you. Maybe something feels clearer. Maybe something feels a little still tender. Both are welcome. Bring to the mind the part of you that carried that legacy burden, the one who held it out of love, loyalty, or survival. And let it hear these words gently and truly. You are honored today. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. I'm here now and I see you. And if it feels comforting, place a hand on your heart or belly and feel the quiet support of the ground beneath you, steady, soft, and holding. And softly offer yourself these truths. What I released today did not define me. What I choose to carry forward is mine. I come from strength and I'm allowed to soften. I carry healing, not just history. And let those words land softly, gently into the roots. And start to come back with this quiet knowing with you that you are a turning point in your lineage, and that's enough. When you feel ready, start to come back into the room, and we'll continue from here together.